All right. So it's Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. We are going to be talking about Humane, which is actually the came out in 2024. So let's do some intros. Since let's see, let's start with Dreadpool. What's been going on with you lately?
What hasn't been going on with me lately? Let's see. We just had MegaCon. I've been editing, recording, all that stuff for that. Doing the drone videos, putting all the stuff on Files of Horror that belongs that way. Other things over here. I was on this morning with Breakfast with Boom, with Fuzzy and Silent Cipher. Yeah, just everywhere like a madman. And tomorrow's going to be another adventure. So you'll have to stay tuned to be surprised on that one.
And what was that thing you sent me on Twitter?
Oh,
Oh,
that was
you want to
that.
discuss
Yeah,
that?
we can discuss that. I don't
Go
know if you
ahead.
if you want to push that out there too. Well, I got to watch Screenboat, which is basically a horror spin-off of Steamboat Willie. Now that he's in public domain, and talk to the director and the crew, and just so you guys know, they totally love Disney. They totally love all the stuff. So everything is in good taste. I cannot talk about too much of it until the movie comes out. So there's certain things, even though I didn't sign an NDA, my word is my honor. And that, if they tell me not to say no, I actually took a screenshot, took a picture of it during the movie. And I was like, and Carlo was with me. You guys know Carl from 4GQ TV. And he goes, "You're not allowed to take pictures." What? I'm like, and I'm looking at it going, there's nothing here that gives anything away. He's like, yeah, but they said that before we got in here. And I was like, oh, delete. So after the movie, we got out, and then they said they had a camera set up and doing promo. And so they were asking us questions if anybody wanted to do it. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. So my daughter said I was in there 3 times. I only saw myself twice. I don't know. But they used a lot of my interaction. So um, I was in there twice for the promo, and there may be some more because there was a few other things that I had said, and the guy was like, "Oh, great! That I love that." So we'll see if there's any more of those promos that I might be in again. But it was really cool,
Nice.
great
All
experience.
right, all
That's
right,
awesome.
good. All right, so let's see, Cipher, go ahead.
Okay, well, I haven't done anything super awesome like that this week. But we did take a break for Valentine's Day, so I ended up cooking up some food. We grabbed some sushi, hung out, and just kind of had a nice chill weekend this last week. This week's just been chaos. So it's yeah, it was nice to be able to sit down and just watch a movie for a few minutes and just turn my brain off for a little bit. Um, Besides that, I keep playing more Balatro because I'm an addict, and I may as well just line it right to my vein and just drip feed it right in at this point. That's about all I've done recently.
Okay. What about Presto?
Well, last time we had a pod was 2 weeks ago, and now we're having one again. And the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions, so that was very exciting. I did not go to the parade. I stayed out of Philly. I've
Good
been,
idea.
yeah, I
Yeah,
still
those
been.
hockey fans get really aggressive. So
Do they ever? Yeah, poor Canada beat USA yesterday in hockey, so it's a bit of a bummer. Um, just watching Dexter again and trying to catch up on You because I don't know, the wife likes You, and I'm trying to support her and watch it with her, so I'm trying to catch up on all the episodes. But yeah, other than that, not much. Just enjoying some downtime.
All right. What about Fuzzy?
What about Fuzzy?
Yeah, what about you?
Ooh,
I
you
know
are
what
Um,
right.
about you, but
He
they
is
don't know what about
testy.
you.
No, I haven't done much this week other than played. What was it? Avowed, recent game in Game Pass and on Xbox. It's a RPG based in the Pillars of Eternity world and stuff like that, and been having fun with that. Outside of that, not much else. Grocery shopping and stuff like that, but that doesn't really count for much. But watched this movie that we're going to be discussing today called Humane, and yeah, it made me mad a couple of times just because I would have done things differently. So yeah, there was a couple of blurred outs at the screen while I was frustrated, like kind of thing. But man, this is just going to be a good one, I think, because I'm pretty sure we're all going to have probably different takes on this movie, and the range I could definitely see being from a high score to a low score, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, we'll get into it.
All right. So let's see. What can I say? So let's not discuss work because that's you don't want to hear about work. So besides that, all I've been doing is trying to graduate from this nail tech program in a hurry, and watching Humane, and trying to figure out what short films we're gonna watch next week. So I sent something out to you guys. I would like you guys to be able to send that back so we can have some good ones for the fans next week, because I think we should do some short films that they can watch off of YouTube in a hurry, and then we can discuss them. So I know Siphon gave me his points. Presto and Fuzzy. And Fuzzy, no, you're not allowed to say whatever they want.
Damn, shots fired.
All right, I'll make some selections.
They all sounded great to me. All bangers.
There you go. So, but there are some good ones coming out. So let me get my list because I want to be able to get my list for y'all. So I did, besides the short films, I was also looking at potential movies, and the fans, if you guys want to know, everybody on the podcast said that we don't mind going out and watching a new movie. Isn't that what you guys said?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we actually have the Conjuring Last Rites. That's supposed to be released September 5th. Until Dawn, which I believe is based off of a video game. They're actually releasing that this year, April 25th, in theaters.
Yep.
Swan Song is another one, but so Swan Song is going to be on TV. They haven't, I don't know if it's going to be Apple or Max or whatever. Greg Nicotero is actually going to be doing that one. And it's supposed to be similar, not to The Walking Dead. It's something else that it's similar to. I gotta remember. But it is supposed to be, everything that he brings out is always good. So, the only other movie that I thought about was The Monkey. That was being released today. But I don't know your feelings.
I actually am guilty of going to the movie theater yesterday to buy the monkey popcorn bucket, and that was it. Like, I walked in, saw it there, bought it, and then walked out. So I didn't see it. But I'm not opposed to it.
Wait, there was I didn't see anything about a popcorn bucket. I'm very saddened that I did not catch that.
So remember back in the day, the monkey that would play the drums that was like in every antique store or whatever? That's what the popcorn bucket looks like.
No shit.
Yeah, this is a little pricey one. This one was $45, but they give you like a gallon of popcorn with it. So
wow, 45.
Which theater chain did you get it
AMC.
through? Okay.
Does this gold come off of the popcorn?
No,
Is that too
unfortunately
much of an
not.
Indiana Jones reference?
Yeah.
That would have been
The-
amazing. Monkey brain soup.
The drum is the part that actually holds all the popcorn, and then its arms move up, like, not, you do it manually, but you can move the arms up and down, so it's pretty legit. It's one of the better made popcorn buckets.
I may have to try and get that one.
Yeah, the scalpers are definitely buying them up. My AMC luckily was only doing one per person, so you can go there and buy like 7 of them.
That's nice.
But yeah, I'm not opposed to that movie. I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
So somebody asked in the thing, is it silly or whatever? I was reading about how everybody that viewed it actually really thought it was a good horror film.
Nice.
So I don't know what you guys have heard about it.
Very mixed
Anybody
reviews
else?
I've heard about it.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about it. I've just seen the trailer and it looked cool.
Okay. So
Yeah, I tend to go into the
sounds
movies
like
blind.
yeah, we all know that works for you, Fuzzy. We wind up with angry Fuzzy all the time.
I just need to see the facial expressions when he's angry because that makes it more amusing.
You know,
When he gets to a
I
point
can't
where,
picture that.
Yeah, I know.
I really should tape him. I really should.
I've
But
seen him.
no.
I've seen him aggravated and a little pissed off, but like maybe because we were out in public, he didn't go like full berserker.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta try harder, I guess.
I
It
want to
wasn't
see
even
Fuzzy
me.
like
What was that?
one of those things. That's what I want to see. I want to see Fuzzy doing one of those things, like kicking, screaming at the TV. Get out.
That would be awesome.
He does scream at the TV. That is one thing he does. But it's an experience. It is an experience. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
All right,
Fuzz.
Yeah.
I'm just trying real quick because Fuzzy always tells me to turn off my thing, and I turned it way down. But the problem is that it's still going off. So so we're supposed to be having a party over at the school the day before graduation, and everybody's trying to say what they're going to bring in, and it is quite annoying when you keep on hearing those beeps. So, but yeah, it is an experience to watch Fuzzy get angry at the screen. So yeah, let me get back on the StreamYard. Okay, sorry about that. So, it sounds like the monkey will set up a date. It's probably not going to be next week, but it could be shortly after that, where you guys get to, whenever you guys want to watch it, that's fine. But I think we'll set to talk about it in a couple weeks rather than next week. Okay.
I also
Hands
I
up time.
I watched that Hard Eyes movie.
Yeah, what was that like?
Yeah.
It was fun. It didn't take itself too serious. Yeah, if I was going too far into it, it's a solid movie. It's not one like it's one you would recommend, but not brag about. Like it gets a lot of comparison to Thanksgiving, with just how the vibe feels and the characters and the jokes and stuff. But I enjoyed it. So that's another one that I wouldn't mind watching again if we wanted to review that one.
So I'm just gonna let you know about the hype that they did right before they released that. So Screen Rants was one of them, and a few other places came out talking about how Hard Eyes was actually supposed to be kind of like the replacement for like the Jason series or Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, like it was the next serial
No.
killer
Yeah.
trilogy
big.
or
Dream
whatever.
big.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how they've been talking about it. So that's why I was like, how was that?
I
I didn't
wouldn't
see that.
say. Yeah, when I saw it, I didn't think that at all. Like, yeah, and then the reveal is something that like I was like, okay. So I did not get like, oh, this is gonna be
So
like
it
a
wasn't
franchise. Like, I could.
so it wasn't
I,
earth shattering, the
no,
reveal. Okay.
no, it's actually the opposite, which was quite unusual. But I could see maybe like 2, maybe 3 at the most of these being made. I'm not seeing like you said, like a franchise where there's like 6 or 7 of these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, they were talking it was the next big franchise, and that's hard. That is really hard to do right now. I mean, I don't know what Terrifier's gonna do. They're up to what, their third?
Yeah,
Kind of like 3.5, because what was it? All Hallows Eve was the first time he saw Art. Then he had a movie, and now we're on the third one. So
yeah,
is there a fourth?
yes.
Hopefully
You know,
not.
how far can it go though? How many Jasons did we get?
We got what?
Too many?
12?
27. I don't
12,
know.
right? How many
I
Freddy's
think
did
it
we
was
get?
12. 8.
Do we acknowledge?
8 or 9.
We don't acknowledge the other one. No.
Okay, I
No,
love
we
that
do.
don't.
We do.
Oh boy.
Jackie Earl
Some
Haley
people
did
do,
okay.
some people don't. Some
did
people
okay.
do, some people don't.
I'm just giving you grief.
We'll throw it
I
out there.
enjoyed it, but I know
I-
that was definitely not a popular opinion.
Yeah. I acknowledge the New Nightmare versus that one. Because, Freddy coming
Yeah.
to real life, out of the screen.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, that's not. I'm like, oh, technically.
And we've reviewed Dylan's New Nightmare, which was an awesome fan fan film and everything. So, and they said they would love to do another one if that's possible. So, I don't know if we should acknowledge it or not as part of the franchise, but I would. It tied into the movie, into the original New Nightmare. So
No, I think everybody takes their own interpretation on whether or not to acknowledge it, and it's fine. There's no right or wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's also fun that we can argue about it, in
Mhm.
in a fun, respectful way.
But,
yes.
but let's be honest with each other, though. If you are someone who pours the cereal in and then the milk, you're doing it the right way. If you're doing the milk and then the cereal, you're a psychopath. So just get that out there real quick.
No. I'm a psycho. I
Uh-oh.
still do things in certain orders.
Dang it, Drift. You're killing me.
I gotta argue with you.
This? How about this? Whoever eats cereal with water
Wait, what?
Hey,
really has some
water
questions.
is a reasonable option if you're in a pinch, and it's like
No, it's not.
chocolate crave, for example.
Unless it's Kool-Aid, because then there's too much sugar in your cornflakes.
That sounds like a
psycho.
bad morning.
No,
Oh, what did I
you're better
get?
off eating it dry at that point.
Or not at all, right, Fuzz?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
What they say,
All right,
it all goes in the same spot.
True.
All right, let's talk about Humane. Okay, so I'll open it up.
Eating
Humane,
cereal with water is not humane, for starters.
Oh my god. It's not humane. All right, we're talking about the one that just came out, 2024. It has a lot of familiar faces. We have the guy that played in Just Shoot Me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, that was a really good show. And then we have the guy that played in Fanboys, right? And a few other things. He was also in, what's that show we're watching right now? The one that you're kind of watching with me?
Oh,
Being
Being Human. Yeah.
Yes, Being Human.
He was
The
only in for like an
American
episode
version.
or something like that, though.
Yeah, he's in a couple episodes.
Yeah, like one.
Yeah. No, he was in 2.
You remind me of the kid from crap. What was that movie? We're the Millers, where he gets no regrets and crosses tattoo and it's spelled wrong.
Oh
He's like,
yeah.
not even one? Nope. That's you.
All right. So we're gonna talk about what's in IMDb. So I'm not sure if anybody, I think maybe 1 or 2 people took a look at that. But the reason why I chose this is because this is Cronenberg's daughter. Okay, so the one that does all the body horror stuff and everything like that. We all know he had a son and a daughter, and the son took after dad. Daughter's doing a little bit differently. Okay, so you have Peter Gallagher in here. Now, y'all gonna have to help me out with this guy's name. Jay Baruchel?
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Go ahead. You can
Sorry,
correct
I'm
me on my
muted. Partial, yeah.
pronunciation. Yeah, you can correct me anytime you want, guys. I am not great at saying names. So, Enrico Colantoni, he's the one that originally played in Just Shoot Me. He was also in this. Great actor. Seen him in other stuff as well.
Yep.
So we have a lot of familiar faces, and they were good in other things. Okay, so as an ensemble, though, some people liked it and some people didn't. But this is an apocalyptic movie where our resources are thin, and they have decided to basically have people volunteer to not commit suicide, euthanize themselves by medical needs. By medical means, 20% of the population has to go. That's basically the premise. And this was listed as a horror/thriller. I think it's more kind of a horror/dark comedy, and other people thought it might have just been a dark comedy. But who wants to start with their first impressions?
You should.
Yeah. We need
Why
to
do
go
you
off on a
always
good
want
foot.
me going first?
Because
We
we
need a
want-
good foot to start off on.
We want
We
to feel
actually-
the temperature of the room. We want to get a feel for what we're working with here.
and we all took a vote, and if
Okay.
we were gonna ask someone in the group, being there's 5 of us tonight, you would be the one. So we just want to
So-
let you have your last words.
Okay. So they always gang up on me, but besides that, I'm not fuzzy. I don't get mad if you guys don't agree with me, I'm just
Mhm.
saying.
I don't get mad if people agree or disagree. I get mad at the movie when it does silly stuff. But go ahead with your
We're
first
the gaming
impressions.
podcast, by the way. I'm just saying. I live in the same house as you. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Damn, someone's getting a black eye after this one.
Couch surfing adventures this weekend, man.
oh, he's already mad at me for Valentine's Day. So
Oh boy. So what were your thoughts
So
on this movie again?
How about those movies?
let me stop laughing first. All right. So this movie, like I said, I liked it. Is it earth-shattering? I'm gonna tell everybody to go and buy this. I'm not gonna say that, but I will say I did like it. There were elements that I really liked in it. I liked the plot, and I like how they position the characters to keep the plot flowing. Okay, they could have
Easy.
gone in various different directions, but I liked how they chose the characters and to respond to how they wrote the characters to respond to everybody else. That's what I liked about this. There were, some of the actors were really great, and some of them were kind of like, I wouldn't say phoning it in. I just think if somebody else was in their place, it might have been even better. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I liked it. I'm not going to give my rating yet, but I liked it. So now, somebody else's first impression. Come on.
I guess I'll go.
And
My first impression was interesting concept. Kind of like the self purge, I guess you could say to some extent. Um, Without it being like zombies or anything like that. End of days, it's more of like, oh, we don't have water, we don't have, the ozone. Sun's gonna melt us and stuff. Which I thought the umbrellas were a little strange for some, but you know, all in all, interesting concept. And I'll start that off as like I was intrigued or interested based on that. But there were some things later on that kind of took me out of that. But not a bad start in general. Not a bad concept to kind of base a story around. So I'll go with that.
all right.
Okay. I guess I'll jump in. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It feels after the fact, after watching it, it feels like I was watching a murder mystery movie. Like there was supposed to be murder or something going on, and the mystery was I had to figure it out myself as to what I was watching. So yeah, like we thought we were going into the vampires, and then we're not going into vampires. I thought we were going into another, you know what I mean? So it took a while to figure out what was going on, and then once we got there, they actually built up, and then it would pause the action in the middle of it, and have these lines that didn't make sense in the action. So it's obviously you guys know I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. If I could, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been tinkering in the background when I do this, is because I've been working on the time machine to go back so I don't have to watch it.
He's regretting his life choices right now.
Can't get that hour and a half back.
Wait a minute, hasn't he said that to us before?
What?
Yeah, but
Like
the movie
deja
may have
vu.
been equally as bad. So
Oh, I said that before with the other one. That was that bad that I'd
That's
lost
what
time.
with
But
the
I never
best.
said I was going to build a time machine to go back. This was even worse than that other movie.
C's been known
We
to
might
pick
have
the
to start
bangers.
keeping track of movies I don't like.
Uh-huh.
There's probably
a
more
movie so
movies I
bad
don't
it
like than I do like.
inspires. Yeah, a movie so
All right,
bad
well,
it
we're gonna
inspired you to create a time machine. That's awesome.
Uh-huh. Well, we're gonna get into some of that dialogue you didn't like. A little bit later. So who's next? First, we're still on first impressions.
All right, I'll jump in real quick. Yeah, first off, I will definitely agree with you. There were a lot of big names in it. I was actually kind of surprised to see in this. My favorite, of course, was Enrico because I go back to the days of Veronica Mars, and he was always like that relatable dad that was in that show, and I always enjoyed him as an actor. And I feel like his character was pretty solid for this movie. I'm not a big fan of Jay Baruchel or Baruchel, however you say it. Not a big fan of him. He's always just had this like it's like a nasally voice that just kind of annoys me. And they try and make him out to be like some like big power player character, and the dude's like 85 pounds soaking wet. So I've just never really been too impressed with him. He's had a few films I did enjoy, like She's Out of My League, I think is one he was in, and that was good. But just in general, never been a big fan, and so it made me really happy when he got abused royally in this film. I was definitely rooting for that to happen, so that was fun to watch. It was interesting, like you guys have said already. I feel like they were trying to go in a few different directions all at once, And like Dredd says, like, were we gonna do like a vampire thing, or like what were we doing with this? And they didn't ever really. I mean, we'll talk about it more, obviously, but they didn't really take the opportunity to expound on some of those things.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you saw UV covering for the windows. You saw umbrellas. Like, that was about it. And then it's like, okay, anyways, we're going on a different story. Let's just disregard that. It was a little strange. But that being said, we'll talk about it more. But I actually enjoyed it. So this is one of the rare times that I think I'm sitting right there with you, Fee. I actually enjoyed this movie. I know. And no, I'm not
I
joking
got
about
somebody
that.
on my side.
Thoughts for me.
So just let you know, Jay has been in a lot of movies, but in fact, he's got like 77. He's got 3 coming up. But I will say this: most of his catalog, I've either never seen or never bothered seeing. But I will say this: the Moody's TV series, he was actually really good in that. And the other thing was Fanboys. I really liked him in Fanboys. He was also in Goon and Goon 2, but I wasn't too really. It wasn't really awe-inspiring his acting in that one. But he's been in a couple things that were really good. So he can be solid, but I think sometimes, a lot of times, he doesn't get somebody that he can play off of very well. Or he might not get a very he gets a supporting character role, and he just falls into that normal pattern of being the sidekick, and
Like
he doesn't really develop.
Yeah,
He's usually the sidekick. He was the sidekick in Goon.
Wasn't he in that chick flick? She's Out of My League. Wasn't he the main person?
That's the only time he was in an actual leading role by himself, and he was really good in that. But a lot of times he plays a supporting character, and it's always the best friend, and it doesn't always work for him because the person that he's playing off of, is not really connected in how they write them together and stuff like that. I think Out of My League he was really good in because he was the main character. His side buddies, all of his buddies, they played well against him, and they kept the writing to interact between the all of them rather than just him and one of them at a single time. So he's really good in a group like he is for Fanboys.
He seems to do a good job in Seth Rogen's movies. Like when he's in those, they seem to be good.
Yeah, he was in what was it called? This ends or something like that.
This is the end.
Yeah, This is the end. Yeah, in a group, and he's playing off multiple characters. He's really awesome. When it's one-on-one, it kind of sucks. It goes flat.
I think that's partly because like when he's in a room with a bunch of funny people, it's not as jarring. When they're trying to expect him to be the funny person in the room, that is when it doesn't work. Because like you said, he plays off well with other people, not always in all the shows that he's in. I think this could have gone a completely different route, and they could have just euthanized him at the beginning of the movie, and I would have probably given it a higher score.
Yeah.
Sorry, too soon? Okay. He's like the Pete Davidson of comedy.
Ooh, I don't like Pete Davidson.
I would be okay if they both took a long walk off a short cliff and we just didn't see him in movies. But
is that with or without his R2 unit in his pocket?
Hopefully it's with an anchor wrapped around his waist, so he goes down really fast.
Ooh,
it's funny. I like his characters for what they are, because I look at them as that nerdy kid. Sometimes I relate to it, sometimes I don't. But I think the characters he plays are similar and dynamic, and here he definitely stepped out. Like I had to look at him going, is that him or not? I had to watch his mannerisms to realize,
Yeah.
okay, that is him, because I didn't want to look it up. I just wanted to experience the movie as it was. And
It's weird to see him as like the middle-aged version when we're so used to seeing him in like the early 2000s.
right.
It's a weird change to see him older, for sure.
Yeah. All right, Preston, did you give your first impressions?
Nope.
No.
Do you have any?
No. Not really. I basically got excited when I was like, yo, that girl's from Schitt's Creek. That's Stevie. And then I was just like, all right. But yeah, I kind of got the vampire vibes too at first. And I was just like, okay. So it's a vampire movie. Because this time I did not watch the trailer. So like I read what it was about, but I didn't watch the trailer. I was like, oh, they're vampires. And I like, this is like that movie, was it Daybreakers?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then it just like totally switched gears. And I was just like, oh. It's like once they entered the house, it was a new movie. And it was like, oh, okay. And yeah, it was just like us trying to do a movie together. And we all wrote it separately and then just kind of put it together and was like, all right, let's just tweak this so it kind of makes sense. So yeah, we'll get more into it then. But
Okay,
yeah.
okay. My first question is this, because I'm not seeing this. My first question is this: you guys, some of you read the actual description and got vampire vibe. That's my question.
Once I started watching it.
No.
Once I started
vampire
watching
vibe.
It was all from watching it, because when they first are getting out of the car and stuff, like you hear them sizzling. And so you're like, okay, well they're going a direction with this, and then they just never touched it again, really. Besides the UV windows.
Yeah, and then when the sun would shine in their eyes, they'd block away. So it was like, okay, are these like are we headed to vampires? That's where I was going. And again, I didn't read anything, I didn't watch anything. I always go in blind on a lot of these things unless it's popular enough that you inadvertently see these things. So if I, not knowing anything about it, and I had to like double check the notes to make sure I was watching the right movie.
Yeah, we do that a lot with her picks.
That is true. I'll give him that.
No, if you look at the house and like what the guys were saying, I could see the vampire vibe. Like it probably would have played out as a better movie if they put a vampire spin on it. But
I don't know. It would have been cheesy to me if they did that. But no,
this one was so serious.
But it even seemed like it. Like we're volunteering to shift over to the vampire side. You know what I mean? So it was like not giving away too much, but
would be interesting.
Yeah, because I mean they wouldn't take up resources the same way that we do, right?
Yeah.
And we had no idea what kind of resources or any of that stuff. We had no idea until midway through that resources were depleting. We had no idea, and we had to like again playing the murder mystery tour of okay,
what's happening?
Sunlight. They're afraid of the sunlight. They must be vampires, but they must not be full vampires. Or okay, no. Maybe this is the ozone thing, because once you get over that it's not vampires, you're like, okay, maybe there's ozone thing. And then they did reference something, and that's when I was like, okay, resources.
Maybe
I guess I don't want to get too far into it.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm actually a science teacher that when I read the description, I knew there wasn't going to be vampires because of the description. I was thinking kind of like this was a kind of a post-apocalyptic world running out of resources, so therefore we need to cut into the population. Because I didn't even see that they were being euthanized. I just saw post-apocalyptic world and running out of resources. I thought kind of like a science teacher like I am, what would that look like? And then I just went into it from there. So I didn't get vampire vibes. I don't know about Fuzzy though. Did you get vampire vibes?
No, but I had issues with the science of the movie anyway. Like I told you, the umbrellas didn't make sense for a particular character. It's like it just some of that
Well,
stuff
no,
didn't line up.
It would. Let's get into that now. Let's get into these umbrellas since people keep on bringing them up. All right, so we know in the movie we have these umbrellas. They're actually lined with probably the same material because it was shiny. The same material that you would, you see on the space station or in the packs of survival gear and stuff like that. That was the lining for these umbrellas. And yes, there is a African American character in here that was also using one of those. If the ozone layer had depleted, she needs to wear sunscreen and have an umbrella too. Even though I asked Fuzzy all the time, can we put sunscreen on you when we're out in the sun? And he's like, I don't need it.
Because in a lot of cases, well, at least in our current environment, I don't usually need it. I just know to not stay directly in the sun as long.
Come down to Florida.
Being mindful of that stuff, but
yeah, come down to Florida. Yeah,
come down to Florida. You'll need it because what'll happen is it'll be too late by the time you figure it out.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
But I figured it's either that she probably wouldn't need the umbrella, or if she needs the umbrella, then the other people should be possibly experiencing some other side effects a lot worse in comparison. And the fact that they don't believe in tinted windows, like modern day cars have tinted windows sometimes from the factory on like at least the rear doors of the car. So I can't imagine things being so desolate that you couldn't afford to get tinted windows or learn how to properly install tinted windows in your car or UV protected window screens in your car. And the job that was on that one girl's car, as far as the windows, it just, I'm like, really? Or
Yep.
like somebody
and to
went
piggyback
to like
off of that,
AutoZone and just
yeah, to piggyback off that window, she even had it cracked.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed it. It was cracked. So it was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
if
wait a
you're
minute.
doing that kind of a tint job on your windows, why would you even crack the window? Because it would just ruin the whole point.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Maybe her father was just like Dakota Johnson's father, Don Johnson, who cut her off from his money because she became an actress. Remember, she's an actress. Maybe he was doing that to teach her a lesson about not being an actress.
But it didn't feel like he was doing that. Like, I mean, yes, he gave one child, well, he didn't give the child directly a lot of money, but to settle a court dispute kind of thing, he sent a lot of money. But like the dad seemed like he was like this, world-renowned anchor or news person kind of thing.
He's like male version of Barbara Walters.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like any of the kids were cut off, except for the one to some extent. But then again, he paid, to make the legal case go away against the adopted son type of thing. So I can't imagine her hurting for money. Times could be quite bad to the point where there's no more employment because of XYZ reasons with the environment going to crap kind of thing. But like the windows should have been like one of the easier things, even for a do-it-yourself. Or like, I can't imagine where you have that stuff. You go to AutoZone and you stick it on the window like that, and like, oh, this is good. This is going to keep me from burning inside of my car, kind of thing. And to have the window cracked, like Dreadpool says, like, yeah, I mean, I didn't pay too much attention because I was like, I'm going to turn my brain off. The science doesn't exist in this movie to some extent. So it's like, I'll just let it play out and see where it goes. And it was only like a flash in the pan kind of thing. They didn't really dive into that aspect of, the ozone going away or the amount of radiation and UV rays and stuff like that. But I just, some of that stuff seemed out of place or silly to me.
All right, hold on 1 minute. I'm hearing some background audio. Is that like music in the background?
Someone raving back there.
It's not raving over here.
It stopped.
Not me. 2
Notice
weeks
Not
ago,
me.
I'm muted. I'm sitting there talking, and I'm still muted, so it wasn't me. And I'm the one that called you guys out, whoever it was.
Closure,
Is there like a-
closure,
There's like
closure
a party outside.
incognito browser. We know what you're doing.
I got nothing here, nothing.
Mhm.
Hello, Daddy. What? So, but no,
Oh.
the ozone's not protecting us just from the ultraviolet. There's a lot of other things out there that the frequencies and all that it's protecting us from. So even doesn't matter how your complexion is, it could still have an effect. And again, that's why I went with vampires first until we later on we found out that it was not vampires, but there was another thing that they said in the movie, that the one line that actually kind of like, oh, okay, this had to be a reasoning for this.
Mhm.
It was weird, some of the talk about the restrictions with like the
Mhm.
food and stuff.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird one to me, because like the food that they were talking about being restricted, I was like, that's like a 1%er problem. They were talking about like super sushi grade fish and like some
Mhm.
fancy squash and stuff. I was like,
They said it right on the tomato. It was like right on the
Mhm.
tomatoes when that line came out. And then you're looking at her doing everything else, and you're like, if she's she's a chef.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to work on all this is like,
Mhm.
which way are we
Yeah.
going?
yeah, it was an interesting choice. I could have seen him do something like, potatoes, like something us common folk can relate to, but like not everyone's having a giant, like she went full on with that meal.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
granted, I understand that the meal, there was a reason for why she went
Yeah.
very aggressive with this
Mhm.
meal and went very fancy, but
Mhm.
man, talk about some first world problem type of stuff with the food that was being restricted. Like there
I
was,
think it was supposed to be a little like prelude to kind of like their last meal
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
That's
And
why
I
I
think
looked.
it was really subtle, and it could have been missed if you weren't paying attention. Could have definitely been missed. Especially
I
if you're
mean,
trying to figure out what the movie's in the first place, right?
couldn't they just get rid of the homeless and that would have been the 20%? And that guy was rich.
Well,
So like,
they did
Right?
they did
Right?
mention something. I don't know. We should be talking about just yet, but later on they did mention something, and they said they ran out, and this is why we're here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we can talk about it right now. I mean, there were two populations that they talked about. One population was, the prisons.
Mhm.
They already went and did that. They ran through all the prisons, and then anybody catch the second population?
yeah, the Asians.
That was well, it was immigrants in general.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The immigrants.
Anybody? Yeah, it was immigrants in itself. Yeah,
I think
They
I think they wrapped them both up though.
yeah,
yeah.
because they did
Yeah.
mention Asians. They said
They,
Mhm. Well,
this
that
whole
was the
thing
nod.
is why she had
That was the
to,
nod to the
why Don
COVID,
had to
though.
go away.
Yeah, that was a nod to the whole COVID thing that she put in there. Was it was because of the Asians that this was happening, which
and
is what happened when
Wow.
COVID hit.
because
Well,
and
yeah.
they referenced that it wiped out the Asian population.
Yeah,
So,
but
but
they were also saying it was because of the Asian population too, and that's why
could
people burned down her restaurant.
could this have been also referenced to be over like in the western side of the U.S. because there is a higher uh, population of Asians that have migrated over. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because
Yeah.
we're from in Florida, we're seeing a lot of Cuban, Haitian,
Mhm.
Jamaican. We see a lot of those type of communities coming over. So it's not just Mexican that everybody's all up and about. There's a lot of
Well,
different communities that come into Florida. So I'm thinking
yeah,
with all this, they must be in, the location must be over like Cali or because it
It
seemed
came across like it
more,
was California. Yeah.
yeah, it seemed
yeah,
more California than northern.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we do have a lot in Pennsylvania. We have a lot of Korean immigrants, and we have a lot of Mexican immigrants as well. Because there's a whole bunch of Korean churches and um
We got those here too.
yeah. So there are different populations of immigrants that, of course, go to different states and stuff like that, because of the communities that were established there. And this one does sound like it was out in California. It also, you know, seeing the landscape of where she's trying to get the water ration and stuff like that, that open space itself, you wouldn't see that out in a mountainous region. You would have to go out towards California to see that. So I can see this being in California.
Yeah, definitely was in Florida.
Or
Yeah, it definitely
Pennsylvania.
wasn't in Florida.
Probably Utah. They got a lot of
Could've
weird
been.
fucks out there.
You son of a bitch.
And now he comes on. He's like, I'm going to turn my camera off.
No. I agree with you. Fuck Utah sometimes, but you son of a bitch.
All right, so let's get into when Bob shows up.
I love Bob.
Let's
Bob
talk
was a good
about Bob,
cat.
since
Good cast,
Bob-
people
good
love
character.
Bob.
Yeah.
Bob was such
All
a
right,
good
impressions
character.
of Bob.
My favorite. He was hands down my favorite character.
He carried
Yeah.
the film.
Enrico did a great job establishing what the film was about.
Yeah.
So when you think of it that way, that is when you started like piecing things together as to what
Mhm.
direction we're going to. And the way his character is made, the way Enrico played the character, it really rounded out the movie better. He was a positive side in the movie, at least for the movie. How's that?
Yeah.
Bob was answering the questions we had. Like when you were watching, we were like, "Oh, what about this?" Like one of the cast members would ask him, Bob would answer, and he would go into depth about it. And it was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Like, "Oh, that makes sense." But yeah, like when they were in the house for 2 hours, couldn't they just like escaped out the window and doing like peace? Like they technically didn't really like each other as a family in the beginning anyway. So what's stopping the one from just going out the back door and just leaving? Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
Armed
kind of noticed
guards.
that. Well, it didn't seem like the armed guards were really holding that great of security, especially after the one kid threw the phone out the window. It didn't seem like they were doing patrols, and that's part of the stuff that made or was getting me angry. It's like, okay, nobody's checking to see if this door is covered or this window is covered. Just the front door seems that whole front of the house seems like it's under lock and key, but everything else didn't seem like there was any real presence. And yes, I can understand a reporter not being, a hunter or something of that nature, but somebody of his stature in the community, as far as news and stuff like that, would have to have at least one rifle, if not several rifles, whether they're collector's items or for display purposes or something. There would have to be some sort of armament in there in that house, or at least I would think that there would be some. Especially considering how the world is turning, kind of deal. You would think you would want to protect your own, property with something, whether it's a shotgun or a rifle. But like, it just felt like overall the house, like when Bob came in, it's like, oh, like if I'm one of the family members, and we'll get into what his whole agenda is, but like when it came to a vote or something like that, it'd be like, well, just give us a minute. And I think I would have probably been more like Noah and be like, hey, we got to take out Bob, or would have suggested that instead of us taking out each other kind of thing. Like if we work together, kind of like what they eventually do, but like it just felt like, okay, Bob's here and we see that he's got armed guards. He's the mark. He's the target. maybe I'm the crazy one in thinking that, but I was just disappointed that there was no rifles in the house, no weaponry other than steak knives. Like, I mean, but steak knives can be useful too. But yeah,
They're not.
we'll get
They're
into
not.
it.
Steak
Only
knives are
up
not,
close,
are
though.
not useful.
No, we
Yeah.
just use spoons here. We want to make sure it's slow and painful.
Scoop out the eye socket.
Hey man,
We
that's
get
a
smashed
delicacy.
eye and then scoop it out.
Those eyeballs pop like a little delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh,
when you crunch onto them and they pop. It's like those the boba tea.
Ew.
Yeah.
There you go.
remind me
Now's
not
your
to
next
go to your
visual to
house
have
for
a.
dinner. Thank you for that.
Did you not forget I'm Greek? We eat goat and we eat like the tongue, we eat all that stuff on the go.
I tried to forget.
All right, before
when
we get into Bob
Mhm.
and targeting Bob, what is I always say this to Fuzzy. What's one rule in a movie when you have different characters? So we have what was his name? I want to get these character names right. So we have Jarrett is played by Jay. And he obviously is this political guy. He thinks that euthanasia program is the greatest thing in the world. He's of course on the opposite side of the people that are saying compassion, right?
Mhm.
Then you have the sister Rachel, she's the younger one. You have
No,
the older
Rachel
sister.
was
she's the older one.
next one. Yeah.
Okay, Rachel was the older one and Ashley was the younger one, right?
Yeah.
And then you had Noah. We're not going to talk about Dawn or Mia, or Maya, however you want to pronounce it. So, out of the four siblings, who would have you bet on to actually survive if they actually took it to the very end? Who do you think out of those four would have survived?
With
Noah.
the backstory. With the backstory that they presented, I would say a toss up between Noah and possibly Rachel. Rachel didn't seem to care, so that could be an advantage. And something that me and Fee talked about while watching the movie: never bet against a junkie or a former junkie, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They have
if any of
junkie
them had been in
powers.
the military, then it'd be maybe a different story. But probably next best to military as far as survivability, survival instinct kind of thing, because rock bottom type of deal would have probably been Noah. Would have been like the next one on the list that
So
might
Dredd,
outlive them all.
so Dredd and Presto, who would you have bet on? Because we got two for
Okay.
Noah.
When they first showed you and introduced you to them,
Mhm.
Noah was definitely one of the first goners. Ashley was definitely going to be a goner too, because of how timid and Ashley was very timid when you first seen her.
Mhm.
She reminded me of what was that movie called? Or show? It was a show with the 12 kids that the guy adopted. They were all born on this day, and
Cheaper
this
by the dozen.
no,
Oh,
no.
yeah. Umbrella
Yes, the Umbrella
Academy.
Academy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh
So
yeah,
she reminded me of the Outcast, right?
Yeah.
So that's the vibe I got from her. Sebastian, that played as Noah, he did a great job playing a junkie. But again, if you're gonna sit there and you got to call, your girlfriend because you're so skittish, and you got to focus in so you can get your thoughts together to be able to do something, and then you turn around and back out, and then you get conned back into it. You have no strength, and on top of that, he's walking with a cane, so he's obviously crippled in some fashion, more so than mentally. It's also physically. So that was definitely a guarantee out. So then it came between Jared and Rachel were going to be the two that were going to be the ones to survive, because the fact that I think Rachel would have been the very only one out of all three that was guaranteed to survive, because she was the most headstrong about anything and everything, and she was the one that I really wanted to die because I couldn't stand that character. She did Emily Hampshire. She did
Yeah.
so good as
Mhm.
to hating this character, and it's like, and then on top of that, she's still a mom, and it's like, you don't want moms to die either, but
Yeah.
I can kind of justify this one because of how rude she was, and she played the character well. It was well written for her, for all that. So again, I think in the order of survivability, um, Rachel would be the first one. Jared would be the next, only because he seemed to have the insights and his connections. We'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
As to why he was going to be able to live. And
Mhm.
then
Mm.
it's kind of a toss up between Ashley and Noah, but I think the way that they portrayed your first introduction to them, Noah would have been the first one to go dead on, first one to be easiest to catch. Because again, skittish, have to
Mhm.
focus to just think, you know what I'm saying? So mentally, he can't deal with any situation. Just going to the house was a great fight for him. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, having the cane and being disabled like that, it was again, that's the way I saw it as a presentation. Obviously, as we go along, you know, your
It was
opinions change.
underestimated. Yeah.
Right. But like you
Yeah.
guys
So
said,
so
always bet on the junkie. Because
yeah.
you never know.
So Presto.
Yes.
So who you agree with?
I don't really care. I hope they all died. I just was like, you know what?
Yeah.
If you need 20%, just take the 100% out of this house and save the next household. Limit your
He
visits.
was on Bob's team.
I was like, yo, Bob,
He was-
Team
let's
Bob.
shit up together. Let's, wipe out some of these people.
Yep.
You want your tomatoes and stuff? I'm all for that. So
So Presto. So wait a minute. Presto is the one. Remember in the opening scene where the guy sees the volunteer poster and slams the coffee up against it, just throws the coffee
Yeah.
up against it. You would have been the one that went over there and cleaned that. You'd be like, no, we need to shine this up. We need to make sure people are volunteering.
We got to spread the good word.
Man, that poor guy. They were all full cups too. Like there's two guys. Was it two guys in the van, but they had 3 cups?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then he just threw them out. It's like, who's out of coffee now? Joke's on you. Like,
But that was their boy. So I mean, wouldn't you be upset if that was your boy?
depends how much of a boy he was of mine.
Mm.
Like,
I think. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I think Presto's right is like most of these characters didn't really have any redeeming factors to them. The only reason I was excited about Noah was like when I saw him start kicking people's asses. I was like, right on, let's do this. Like, yes, throw him into the fireplace. Do that. Like I was looking for a moment where Jay Baruchel's character got like lit on fire and flew out a window or something. It didn't happen, but I was hopeful. But yeah, I mean, Bob was he was the good guy and the bad guy of the film.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that was going to survive.
Even the things that was, I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it, but even my wife missed it, and he was just like, no, leave it like that. And you're like, oh shit, he's adding them up, even though he only needed 2. Without giving it away, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Oh, we'll give it away. I'll give it away right now.
okay,
Say
They found
spoiler
Dawn.
Spoiler.
yeah.
Damn.
They found Dawn, and she wanted to come back home. He said, no, keep her there.
Mhm.
Yup.
So
They found the torch of
taking care of her there.
Gondor, and they threw the ring in the fire, and they all lived happily in Hobbitshire.
But what do you think Bob's motive was then? Because we didn't really get to Bob's motive.
He's
I think he
a
got
sick
paid by the
man
body,
who
didn't he?
loves pain
Yeah.
and money.
he-
But I don't think it necessarily was that, because Mia, well, I'll call her Mia, you can call her Maya. Mia was basically saying he was evil straight to his face. Like, you're being cruel and evil.
Yeah.
Especially after, he's like, go get her, or get her, or something like that. And the guy shoots her. Guy shoots,
meant go
that was a
Noah's
lady.
girlfriend.
That was a lady that did that.
Mhm.
Look, but they shoot they shoot his girlfriend, and then he's like, he doesn't, all he says was, I meant for you to like run after her. But
Yeah.
he still wasn't like yelling at him and saying, why were you so stupid, or anything. He was just like, oh, I meant to go after her. Like, come on now. So, I mean, was it because of the money, or was it really just because he got
Yeah.
absorbed through this job? It was
No,
just
no.
100%.
Maybe a bit of both.
A little bit of both, but I think it's about the money, because he even had that speech about the direction that they were the first set of people that they took care of was money makers for them, and it was repeat money. Now it's by the body.
Yeah.
It's a one-time thing. So again, you had Dad, which was Charles York,
Mhm.
played by Peter Gallagher, right? So you had
Mhm.
Dad. Now you have Pam. Now you have the girlfriend. What was her name?
Let me see.
The girlfriend. And now you have one more that they're fighting over each other to stay, to figure out who's going to come out or not come out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he got an extra 2 bodies. I don't know if you.
I would be curious. Maybe I missed him talking about it, but did they ever say how much per head he got? Because I know that they were talking about how if you volunteered, you got, I think, $250,000 or something that you were able to give to your family.
Yeah.
But how much did he get as this mechanic, right? Like that's working these jobs. Be curious.
I don't
about
think
that.
they
And
ever
I can remember.
said
No,
like an
I don't
actual
think they ever said
price
either.
or
The
or
money
to
must
the
have been
extent.
pretty damn good.
His girlfriend was named Noah. I mean, Noah's girlfriend was named Grace.
Grace.
I was like, I didn't watch this.
Oh, wait a
movie then.
second.
That was a different
Wait.
movie.
Noah's girlfriend was Noah?
Yeah. No, Noah's girlfriend was
Spoiler.
Grace.
Noah?
What were you saying, Presto?
I just said spoiler. I don't know. This movie,
It's
like,
Grace.
I mean, the
Could you
guy
imagine if it
that
was Rosie?
Oh my God. All right, what were you saying, Presto?
I don't know. Just think about this movie in whole. Like, I know they have to control the population and stuff, but like the guy that volunteered the dad in the beginning, like he was wealthy. Like at one point they said that he gave the one kid $3 million or whatever to get out of trouble. So it's like, why are you even volunteering? Like you have so much money that you could just like pay off other people to like just die so you don't have to and protect your family. Like,
Yeah.
but somehow you're just volunteering to like be put to sleep. Like, do you hate your kids that much that you're just like, well, I'm just gonna peace out now and I'm gonna invite all my kids over just to see me die. Stick with that for life, kids.
Yeah,
He kind of posed it as he was trying to make it so they wouldn't have to, or that they wouldn't come after him. I know the one son was like, "Oh, that doesn't happen," blah blah blah. But it's like they're lying to you. It's like, if I don't do this, then it's going to be a draft, and any of you could be up for the draft. And then the younger son, or Jay's response was like, "Well, I guess they can only come for one from a family," or something like that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was when that happens, you can only take one of the kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked
I
it felt like they were pretty straight on. I think Jay's character even said is like it almost felt like this was being done again. You guys mentioned the money. It's obviously like
Mhm.
he's not he's not hard up for money. The family
No.
isn't. But he made the comment of like you want to go out as this big hero and you want the name to not be tarnished. So that's
Yeah.
why you're doing this, is because then
Yeah.
you're making the York family look so much better.
He
So
wanted to
maybe
be a
that was part of
martyr.
it too.
They were setting the example, and he even said that others have done the same, and
Mhm.
then their dirty secrets have come out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, he just wanted to be a martyr. He didn't want to be behind to. He might have had a scandal coming up. I mean, his own son crashes his car into another person, injures them, injures himself. I mean, I'm sure that was very disgraceful for him when
I
that
think he
happened.
killed the other person that they got in the accident.
Yeah, he
I think
did.
that
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
died, and he was just injured. That's why he had the cane. But
Yeah.
And a
yeah, that
$3 million payoff.
yeah.
Hmm.
A little dramatic, but whatever.
A little dramatic.
But I mean, come on. Let's look at Noah just for a few minutes. Let's look at Noah. When it comes down to it, everybody else is like, oh well, you know, we need to go after Noah, or we need to go after you, or whatever. Noah's the only one that thought smartly to go ahead and sell and find a way to armor himself, find a weapon to strategically put himself in a position to defend himself or to take the offense, whereas Emily's character was just full force, just continuously moving, you know, through everything. And we all know that's not the smart way of doing things. So when we
She
come down to it, that's why I'm like, who did you think was going to win? I always put my money on the junkie.
Yeah, but Emily was
Rather
also trying to
than
come
the
up with other
pushy.
solutions.
Yeah, because she
Well,
was like the baiting. Emily was the younger sister, so that she
No,
was the one that was kind of like the bait.
no.
no,
Emily
Emily was
Ashley
Rachel.
was the younger sister,
Oh, okay.
and Rachel was
The
the older
confusion.
one.
Let's call them by
Yeah,
their character names, so we can
Yeah.
keep track. I keep
Because
looking
Emily
over in
is
case you guys are
Rachel's.
wondering.
Yeah, because Rachel, her real name is Emily, so we're
Yeah.
gonna stick with the character names. So Rachel or Ashley, whichever one you were talking about.
Or Michelle.
But the character names is what I'll stick to because I don't know celebrity names. I don't pay that much attention to celebrities.
He doesn't.
But
He
yeah,
really
like
doesn't.
with Ashley, I her being the bait, just it was weird in a sense, but you know, Noah should have kind of saw through it kind of deal. But I don't know.
Dreadpool's got
I
his
feel they're
wait a minute,
better
Fuzzy.
bet. Oh, I'm sorry.
Fuzzy, wait a minute. Dreadpool's in his time machine right now. Go ahead, Fuzzy.
Hey,
No.
he saw that she betrayed him once he had a freaking knife in his back.
Yeah.
He was foolish enough to be like, okay, I trust you, even though you just betrayed me downstairs. All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and then gets a damn knife in the back again. It's like, dude, come on, like, don't be an
No.
idiot.
No, at that point, I could see, like, if I was Noah being the adopted child at that point, it'd be like, oh, all bets are off. All y'all can get it type of thing. Like you're going over the banister head first over the stairs kind of deal, or push down the stairs, something along those lines.
Jared goes out
Just for the fact that it's like the original plan is, hey, we stick together and we can all possibly get out of here or set them up or something. But no, you want to gang up on me? Oh, it's on. So, but I don't know. I think in the grand scheme of things, Rachel getting the steak knife or whatever probably made the most sense in the beginning, but you would think the others would possibly do or at least try to look for similar weapons, not necessarily against each other, but at least to like defend themselves, and then try to figure out how Dawn got out of the house and see if they can't find the same route. Which to me, that would make the most sense, because one minute she's at the dinner table, and the next minute, Pop is running around with a card saying that she couldn't do this kind of thing. So it's like, where did she slip out at? Was there like a bunker exit or something? Or, another thing that kind of made me mad, and not to say that every rich person today, but a lot of them have safe or panic rooms in their homes. How do they not have a panic room in their home? To secure themselves, kind of thing, especially being California. That seems to be like, a standard operating procedure. Oh, you got a house in the hills, or, a multi-million-dollar mansion. Yeah. You need to have a safe room or a panic room of some sort, which then again should also have a gun safe. But that all of that aside, find out how Dawn got out of the house, find that same path. Happy ending. Everybody lives, or at least, the York family lives, kind of thing. But I don't know. That was the part that was making me mad. It's like, Noah, they tried to off you once. Don't give them a second chance. I don't care. It's the natural kids versus the adopted kid, and you're the one with the target on your back. So defend yourself. And that's what he should have did. But him being a stand-up person now after his accident, and being with his girlfriend or whatever, he's like, hey, family first, but I'm gonna stab you in the face because you hurt me with stabbing me in the back, kind of thing, and stuff like that. So.
I mean, he doesn't have any negative repercussions if he just cleaned house and said, fuck all of you. You just tried to kill me. I'm taking you all out. There was no repercussion, because Bob would have just been like, hey, sweet, I'm getting a bonus. Like, there were no repercussions for Noah, because in this scenario, just like the Purge, you've got a set window of time where you're able to do something, and you don't get any ramifications for that. So he could have just been like, I realize that this is not going to go well. I need to get rid of these guys, otherwise I'm going to be the one carried out on a stretcher by Bob.
All right, so I don't mean to cut you off or anything, but Presto, what are you doing right now?
Arts and crafts.
Yeah, I was making you a craft because I'm so mean to you. I wanted to apologize. Why is everyone think I'm making noise? I'm legit sitting on my couch.
Because I see your bubble. I see your bubble moving.
Yeah, when you talk, your bubble is moving, and you can hear each like right there, whatever you just did. It sounds like you're either moving or you're opening something. I'm getting ready to hear like chips and queso getting like
crafts, or you're something else. And
I took my phone out of my pocket. That's maybe what it was.
Oh, that was probably what it was.
I had pods in, and I had my phone in my pocket. So my bad. I'm just gonna sit here and not move now.
I just picture him as a statue right now, just
still
frozen.
Am I allowed to breathe?
Yes, sure.
once every 10 minutes.
Ooh, boy. So back to the movie. Was anyone? Another part that fell flat for me is they had the daughter in the RV, and the part I chuckled at was when she used the bathroom and she's like, what did she, something about like, I wipe myself with your face towel or something. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But then the part where Bob leaves the trailer and all of a sudden the lights turn on of the RV because it's her. And you're like, oh shit, like she's going to drive this RV away. But then she just like runs out the side door and they capture her. And I'm just like, well, that was very disappointing. Like,
that was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was
that
like,
didn't make sense.
No, it's like, why even turn the lights on? What did that even purpose did that serve?
Like, if that was your goal, like you turning on the lights, they're just gonna run in and get you out from where like the driver's seat is. So why would you just run back out and be like, hey, I just wanted to turn the.
And she had the door locked.
Wait a minute, maybe she couldn't reach the pedals.
No,
Have you seen how
bullshit.
tall she is?
She was like 5 something.
She was
Yeah,
almost
she
as
was
tall
a
as Bob.
teenager.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was pretty
He's
old.
trying to grasp for straws here, you know.
Well, yeah.
She wasn't. She's tall enough to grab her own straws.
Okay,
Yeah.
well I'm not tall enough, so
From the top shelf, damn it.
Yeah, that's no. If we were all in that situation, Fee would survive because she's small enough that when we were drawing straws, she would be able to see which one the shortest one was. So that's not cool.
She's like, yep, that one.
Yep. Sucker. And then she'd be like, hey, Fuzzy, you should pick this one. Boom.
Fuzzy's like, motherfucker, I've been tricked again.
don't tell my secret.
No, but I know if that was my daughter and we were in that type of situation and she was in there, she would have done something to like put it in drive. You know what I mean? To okay, well, guess what? I'm alone, and if you guys can't touch me, guess what? I'll go ahead and get away and at least distract you from the house, so maybe my parents could get away also from a different end because everybody will be too busy concentrating here. I mean, we've been in situations, nothing like that, but I've been proud of her for doing what she did at the time because it was appropriate for her to protect herself. With, like I said, I'm not going to get into it, but it was a proud moment, proud dad moment of, all right, cool. She, it's fight or flight, and if she can't get out, she's fighting, and that's what I thought this what Mia was going to do. I thought that was
definitely not that.
yeah, no,
I mean,
it was
honestly,
a flight into the bad guy's hands. What was the point?
Yeah.
I mean, if she had just, started moving the vehicle, and she
That's
just
it.
rode off, and we never saw her
just
character,
to distract.
we would have been fine with that. That would have actually been a great thing in the movie. But yeah, it kind of fell flat when she just didn't go anywhere and then just ran out. That made no sense.
The door was locked. They shook the door. The door was locked, and then she opens the door. It's like, come on, just hit a few people, hit a few cars.
She got
maybe
confused,
let the thing roll down the
forgot
hill.
where she was. She's like, yes, who's there? Oh shit, I opened the door.
I mean, it also wasn't reasonable to do, though. I mean, usually I'm going to put the key in the ignition, I'm going to turn it on, that sounds more like a preteen / teenager than, and then just riding off, not even thinking about anybody else. But that's not what happened. It's like they thought they were putting a adult in a smaller body kind of thing, and it's like it just didn't make any sense.
Even then, adult in a smaller body would have done anything to get away from the situation and maybe distract and help those that they couldn't. She's like, let me say goodbye, and you know what I mean. So she was trying to get to them any way she could. She tried different things to like draw attention away, to get her back home. So there was a lot of things going on, and it made sense, except for that part of let's run out there and get grabbed by the bad guys again.
I would argue her tearing Bob's cards in half was more effective than not driving away in the car that you had the opportunity to drive away from.
Yeah.
He was very upset with her.
That distracted them more than her trying to pretend like she was going to get away and then just walk out the door.
That was a morale killer for Bob.
Yeah, it was. He was pissed. He was trying to staple those suckers back together.
That was just funny.
Yeah, it was.
It's like the director wrote in the script, like, all right, girl's going to drive RV away. And then it's like, oh, with our budget, we can only get an RV that doesn't run, though. So it's like, do the lights work? Yeah, the lights work. Okay. Yeah, we'll make this work. We'll have her turn on the lights, not go anywhere, then come out the side door. Sound good? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But the budget is enough to get a tow truck to tow it there and then tow it away when we're done filming.
Or maybe it's just someone's they just filmed on location. Like it's just been in someone's street for months, and it's just like, I guess we'll film here.
Quick, the
Throw a
blood
Bible
bank's
on
here.
the
Let's hurry
side
up and
call
use it while
good.
they're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's amazing.
I don't know. It just there were just disappointments in a couple of places. Another thing is, okay, they made mention that they scrambled, I guess, cell phone signals, but it seemed like
Yeah.
they had cable internet. So would they have scrambled the internet as well?
Yeah, they went out to the box and they just unplugged it.
Hmm.
There you
No,
go.
they told Comcast, they're like, we're expecting deaths and resistance at 678 First Street today. So if you could just disable their service for about 4 hours, that would be perfect.
All right. Let's get to the ending. We have
Oh, what a
at some
happy
point-
ending.
What did you guys think was going to be the ending when they did the black screen? When they did that pause?
I figured that was all it was going to be, and I didn't think that they were going to give us like a PS. You know, these folks rode off into the sun all happy, and a couple people died. Like that was it felt unnecessary. I don't know if we really needed that last part. But
So you would have
yeah.
been okay with the Soprano ending.
Yeah. I think it probably would have been better than like the warm fuzzies of like, oh, these people survived and these two girls died just so they could, just so they could survive. Like that was, yeah, I don't know. It felt a little too ham-fisted. Like they were pushing that one a little too hard.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to
Anybody
know
else?
verbatim? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you want to know verbatim what I said when it went to the black screen?
Yes, it's over.
Yep.
No.
Applause.
I was like, fucking Hulu and their commercials. My wife is like, it's not a commercial.
That is fair. That is
Yeah.
I was like,
absolutely fair.
because it
Totally.
was like, as soon as something would happen, it was like, okay, we got some interesting, finally something interesting. It would be commercial. All right,
Mhm.
gotta watch 2 minutes of commercials. And I literally said that. I was like, are you kidding me? And then that happened. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense as to how they ended. I didn't notice it, but anybody notice the father on the eulogy?
No.
No.
The father wasn't in it.
Why wasn't he there? I thought he did something, right? He was a big name.
Mhm.
Dawn surprised me to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously the way that they played up the eulogy for the sister and the girlfriend. So not to spoil that, but it was like, huh, okay. And then the surprise spot that I won't mention, but it was like, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, okay. So
More than
Yeah.
that.
If I was Snow,
thought another
that guy
character
would have
was
been
alive.
gone.
Yeah, I thought I thought one of the characters was still alive too. So then when we saw that, because like I know they said, "Oh, that's not so and so," like when they had that scene before, but I was like, "Okay, but where's the other person?" And then
Yeah.
you see that ending, and you're like, "I thought the whole thing was that you put someone else under there to be like, sucker, that's
And-
not a dead person."
and what was that person in the eulogy? You would expect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, I guess that was part of the cover up.
Yeah.
But
There had to be a cover up.
even
the
still,
whole point to it, remember?
the cover up was putting two together that never met each other.
Yep.
But yet you're going to annul
They were
the main
besties.
character that set all this stuff up that
Mhm.
everybody knows, and then you're going to obviously annul another character that nobody knows of, and you can just, oh well, here's another. I mean, they're already making up stories. So
Mhm.
That was
why
the
didn't they
big
make up the
middle
story for
finger to
that
the
one
dad.
too? Yeah.
So I
was-
think it was actually a little bit tad deeper. So let's take a look at those parts, okay? So you
Okay.
have the two that died,
Mhm.
okay, in the melee, and of these two, they put them together to create a story, so that. But remember, at the very end, before the black screen hit, Bob gave them a choice. He said, "We keep on going, and yeah, I want to live. I want to live, and I can create a story for you, and everything will be fine." Or, their side was like, "Well, we'll just go ahead and just get rid of you." I think the story was to meet two purposes. One, to dishonor the original person that wanted to be euthanized with his lovely wife, and two, to basically get free. All of them wanted to be free. They didn't want to be euthanized. And I think that was met in the ending. Because remember, Jarrett was like, you just want to be the same with Rachel, you just want to be the martyr of the family. You think we're embarrassments. They took that away from him. They took his whole entire point of dying away from him by not being in the eulogy.
Yep. It's the big old middle finger to Pops.
Yeah.
That was. I think that was. I think it was meant to be in there. I think it could have been expanded. I think that it could have been more in the light. But I think it was just a subtle nod to, you can try and be a martyr, but not all martyrs get to be martyrs.
Mhm.
They don't always get in the limelight. And I think the other one was just to get them out of the whole entire thing of having to die, because nobody wanted to die at that point. None of them that were in that room, because you got one tied up, you got one hooked up,
Mhm.
and then you got the four of them surrounding, making the decision of whether everybody lives or somebody dies. Or in this case, two people are gonna die.
It's like half the movie, they're all like, we don't want to die. It's going to be you. Then the other half of the movie, it's like, no, I'm going to go. No, I'm going to die. No, I'm going to die. It's just like, just off all of you. Like, the end.
Yeah.
Like,
It got a little
Dawn-
annoying there for a second. It's like, oh dear God, just someone kill all of them. So
Yeah.
shut up.
It's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you hang up first. No, you hang up first. And it's like, oh, God.
And why do we
You
just
should just blow up the house.
why don't we do that at the beginning of the movie and would have saved us a lot more time?
Yeah, that could have been one of the
Yeah.
short movies we watched.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could
Hit a
have
gas
been.
line.
I want to live, but I'm an asshole. So I'm gonna die for wait.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of all four of the brothers and
Compared to
sisters, I
never
was
being
hoping
honest
Rachel was
with us.
going. What was that?
Compared to never being honest with us, now you're finally honest with us. Thanks.
I'm just saying Rachel needed to go.
Was that Stevie from Schitt's Creek? Or is that the one with the kid?
That's the one with the
That's the
kid.
one with the kid.
Okay.
I want a kid.
They all needed to go. They were all intolerable.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even think the kid really liked her mom anyways. Like, she
No,
really
was
wasn't.
getting teased at school because of her.
She really wasn't crying that hard in the RV. Like,
No,
if you were a
not
kid and
really.
you got like taken away from your mom and knowing that like there's a chance she's gonna die, she's just kind of like sitting there like, huh, well, you have me stuck in this RV, so I'm gonna wipe myself with your face towel. Yeah, like,
I think she was rooting for Noah.
ooh,
I think she was rooting for Noah, not her mom.
spoiler.
Well, she did. She was on social media watching what she watched, and it didn't phase her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's the true villain. What if she was behind all of it? Like she hated her mom, she hated her uncle, she hated her aunt, and like at the very end of the movie, you find out she hired Bob because the dad gave the estate to that girl, and she had all this money then.
He convinced Grandpa
Mm.
to do the right thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That would have
Yeah,
been
she would have
pretty
gotten her
good.
mom's share
Yeah.
so
of
much
this
better
estate.
movie.
Well,
Yeah,
apparently y'all think it would have been better if this is a vampire movie too.
It
Yes.
probably
Yes.
would have
Yeah.
been. But
Yeah.
I guess this is another thing for the spoilers, and I know Dreg was trying to avoid saying it, but like
We can't avoid them. Sorry.
I think my choice ending would have been Bob goes and we're fugitives on the run in that RV to the border somewhere before it's closed, or if they haven't already closed them, kind of thing. Just for the fact it's like, okay, the one employee said he didn't know about Dawn, so he was like, that's all on Bob. So that you can at least excuse that Bob, abused his power and whatnot. So us offing him, it was like we weren't going to hurt each other. We were family, and he was the guy that broke the rules by not, sticking to the agreement of bringing Dawn back to be euthanized or whatever. So, yeah, I would have totally off Bob. Like screw him, and considering that the other guy that was the anthropologist slash, TV pundit, whatever you want to call him, he should have some connections to at least be able to get him out of something, or use the same lawyer that Dad did to get the adopted son out of trouble for murdering somebody. So I'm pretty sure between the inheritance and some of the legal connections they have, they could have probably found a way to off Bob and walk free kind of thing. But that's just
All right,
me.
no, we're not killing Bob. Sorry,
Well,
Bob
but
is the great thing about this movie. So
they even
can't kill
said
Bob.
if one of the state employees died, that it wouldn't matter, that they would all go. There were, you know what I mean? So what's the difference? They already did the one. I
Yeah.
would just convince Tony to be like, all right, this is what happened. Dad went crazy, killed Bob, killed the other one,
Mhm.
and Tony took it under control and then made the deal with Tony.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense, making
Mhm.
the deal with Tony than making the deal with Bob, because Bob could turn around and come back anyway.
Yeah.
I would have been
True.
very disappointed if they had gotten rid of Bob, though, because again,
Yes.
I think he was the
Oh, I
best
like
character in the movie.
I liked his character, and he played it so well that I didn't hate him like I hated Rachel. You know, she
True.
she played that character so well that I hated her and I wanted her to go. You know, and it was
Yeah.
like, oh yes, really? But yeah, no, at the same time, I'm looking at it like, how would you write that to be a little bit more coherent? Because if you're going to inject Bob, why did you stop?
Mhm.
If he gave you the out, make that deal with
Mhm.
Tony, and then Bob's gone, because
Yeah.
Bob is the one. I'm sorry, if someone gave me this situation and put me in this situation with my other family members to the point that we have to do what they did to each other, and then
Mhm.
come to find out there's a way out regardless,
He got to
we're
go.
making a deal with Tony. Otherwise, we're coming after Tony. You've already seen what we can do here, and if you try something, we know we're coming after you and your family. Plain and simple. That's why I'm
I
looking
just
at
wanted
it.
to like the ending. If Tony was in the same ending as Bob in that same position, and they were trying to put Tony in the same written role as Bob at the very end, where he said what he said, I don't think it would have played out as well. I think they would have had to go with the we're going black screen, everybody else can guess what the ending is kind of situation. Because I just don't think he could have pulled off the lines.
Yeah. I just look at
I
it
think
from the
Bob was
standpoint of
really
who.
funny at
Well,
the
yeah,
very end.
Bob was funny, but once again, like Dred said, you cause the family this hardship, you got to go. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and I think Martin Roach would have done Tony very well in that spot and say those same lines. I don't
Yeah.
think I see the irony to have Tony there. Oh, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Bob there versus, like I
Mhm.
said, Tony.
Yeah.
I see the irony of having him there. That's the whole point of putting him there. Is like,
Mhm.
oh, I thought he died. I thought they would have offed him, and here he
Yeah.
is, bandaged up, and he's making
Mhm.
it out. It's like, but I see the irony there, so it's not lost on me
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think Caitlin was trying to move away from body horror. She wants the Cronenberg name to be synonymous with something else besides body horror.
Mhm.
Unlike her brother and her father. I think it was a good try. I don't think it was. I don't think everything was a miss. So we want to rate this.
Ooh, we're
Who
there
wants to go
now.
first? Who wants to go first? Because I said it. Because it's not gonna be
I'll
me.
go first.
I went first earlier.
I'll go first because I already said it in chat. 2 fees out of 10 fees.
2 fees out of 10 fees.
Ooh, we don't even want 1 fee though.
You say 1 fee? That's the lowest we've had.
Wow.
I
That's
mean,
the
Bob
lowest.
Bob gave it some credit.
Yeah.
Come on, Bob's worth 2 fees, right?
He made the movie for the most part.
You did.
Staple on the cards. Staple on cards.
I think I probably would have ended up putting it.
Oh, where'd Preston go? There he
Oh,
is. Hold on a
son.
second.
I was gonna say, don't
Click
have
the
a
wrong-
fit.
You
I
get
was
his
just
time
playing.
machine?
He clicked the wrong button. He closed his incognito tab on accident after he clicked ours.
I was
I
finishing
thought he
up
was
my.
getting into.
I was finishing my arts
finishing
and
up what?
craft. And I didn't want you
I
guys to
thought you were
know.
getting into Dreadpool's time machine.
Yeah.
Hey, there's only room for one, and he's not sitting on my lap. No offense.
Damn.
Sorry, bro. You don't get the lap.
We won't
Not
even
today.
lock eyes, all right?
You ever heard the saying, "No crossing swords"?
Well, I'm not gonna sit facing you. It's all right. For the good of time machine.
A reverse Dutch rudder? Wait a minute.
Who's
Just
the top
think.
bunk?
Rock, paper, scissors.
You did say
So
rock,
anyway,
right?
Yeah. Just think, if it's big enough that us 4 could fit in it, we could go back before we watch this movie.
I enjoyed this movie. Damn it.
All right, 3 of us then.
Apparently,
Go
I
back
was
and
not
watch.
invited to do this. By the way, they're all leaving me behind.
Yeah, you gotta watch and do something. You said.
Because they won't get hit with HR issues if it's just all the dudes.
Yeah, those kids need you.
Shit. I should have been working on the hot tub. Oh well.
Hot tub time machine.
So
Mm.
I would have given it a 6.
6. Okay.
No
Are you feeling
points,
okay?
just a solid 6.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I honestly, like, Enrico made the movie. I probably would have given it higher points had Jared gotten thrown out of the window on fire. Again, that didn't happen. So I can only get as much as a 6 for it.
Okay.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, I funny enough, I thought 6 was going to be a low score, and I kind of settled on 6. That's what I even put on IMDb for it. I know it's sitting at like a 5.5. It wasn't terrible, but like I said, I got mad at some of the stuff in the movie. It's like, yeah, just for horror fans, if the world seems like it's going to be post-apocalyptical, right around the corner, get yourself a gun safe and turn your basement into a panic room if you have a basement. If not, just set aside one room that you can, secure you and your family kind of thing, and potentially have like a second exit in the house. I know that's a lot of remodeling possibly, but at least get the gun safe so that way when Bob and his cronies show up, you can At least defend yourself. But nah, I gave it a 6. Turning your brain off, watch it. Yeah, it's fine. Otherwise, like I'll sit there and nitpick at stuff like the scrambling, not necessarily affecting the internet, or the bad tint job for some of the windows. Now the windows in the house were done, I think, a lot better, obviously, but the ones on the car just seem a little off.
It looked like
but-
Noah put those up while he was still on drugs.
He did.
Yeah, it was like in
that?
the mid theme.
She was trying to help him out.
I swear, dude, like that was the worst tint job I've ever seen. Like you could pay $20
That's
and get
how
a
he
better
gets
job
money,
than
though.
that.
I know, but that's how he got his. I don't even know what drug he was on, crack or heroin or whatever.
Probably a
But
pain drug or something, just assuming from the accident. But
That was kind
you
of
could
my
find a crackhead. He may steal your stereo, but they're going to do a better job putting those tinted windows up. I'm just saying.
Anyone would, man. My goodness. Michael J. Fox would do a better job. Okay. I apologize. I love Michael J. Fox. That was
He
unkind,
said it, not me.
but
oh God.
I was just
Right.
gonna say the crackhead
I'm
in
just-
Patterson, New Jersey, that was willing to clean your windows at the drive-in would have did a better job of acting than that.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna go sit in my corner.
Oh my God.
Kind of like those zombies in Philly. There's-
Hey, let's simmer down with the Philly talk, all right?
Hey man, my zombies down here eat faces. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Yeah, they do.
The bath salt faces.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember these pictures in the newspaper. Yep.
Who
That
reads
was-
the
Yeah.
newspaper?
The worst was
anymore?
the
It's
extended
such a-
video. They actually showed the guy
Yeah.
crossing the bridge,
Yep.
and then I guess the drugs finally kicked in, and he was like, "Oh, it's too hot. All the clothes off.
Mhm.
Oh, there's a
Mhm.
bum down there. Let me go have a snack." Like what? That should be a horror movie.
I remember
Somebody
that.
should make the
Yep.
face eaters of Florida kind of thing. Something along
Faces
those
of
lines.
Death it has a new meaning when you come to Florida.
Ooh,
Yeah.
those were rough.
Oh,
I actually have
man.
a death certificate from one of the movies.
Mm.
I'm
Man,
not congratulations. I don't know.
Here we go.
I'm guessing it's not autographed then.
I
Oh,
didn't
it's
sign
autographed by the
for it.
coroner.
Yes. I was hoping they'd give out toe tags, but they didn't.
Lame.
Damn.
Obviously, you didn't get the VIP package.
Well,
Mm.
2 years ago, I had a funeral, and everybody thought I actually died. So
Wait, what?
yeah, I had a funeral 2 years ago. My wife threw me a funeral,
Mm.
and I stood in front of the casket, my own casket. I stood in front of it with everybody on either side of me, and we all took a group picture. I live streamed some of it.
I must have missed that. Although
Yeah.
I guess if you've already purchased the plot and the casket, you're ahead of a lot of us these days.
She pulled out the furs, and she had the handkerchief and crying, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The
I got
eulogy
nothing.
was grand.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, it was a
Huh.
funeral for my youth.
I did not expect that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Mm, mm,
So, who else
Hey,
did
Eric.
score this bad boy?
What was that?
See, look, even Roshan in the chat made the comment, yeah, but Michael J. Fox really would have done a better job.
True.
Oh
True.
my gosh.
I still remember the Family Guy episodes when they were talking about him.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Yes.
I'm going to a special little plot of hell for that one.
The good old days.
Mm, mm,
No, I think he's supposed to be in the Guinness World Book of Records for being the longest person to have his disease. Or at least he should be.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Interesting.
something
No.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
This man has had
He-
this
He had the
disease.
longest doodle because he just does
Yes.
in circles or something.
Yeah,
Can he just
I
like
think
shake it off or something?
I don't know. He's been trying to, I guess.
Oh,
but-
sweet Jesus. Oh, God.
This man right
Okay.
here.
No,
This
Oh,
man
boy.
right there.
to give him. I'm just saying, you
Oh.
have to give
Oh,
him
wow.
props for being for having this disease for longer than any other male has ever.
I'm sure he brags
he
about
is
that to
definitely
people.
a fighter,
Oh.
and he's still making movies. Come on now, stop
Is
getting
he?
him on. Yes,
Well,
he
he's
still does shows and movies.
behind. Yeah, he's behind the camera. He's not in front of it anymore.
No, he's actually in front of it.
What? Since
Yes,
You're fibbing to us. Stop your fibbing.
no, he has done guest appearances.
You okay, Fuzz?
Fuzzy's dying over there.
The thing is,
I'm gonna be in
have
a
you
special
guys
place.
have
to
you
hell
guys
for
watched The
laughing at this
Flash?
shit.
You know how you guys watch The Flash, right? You know how he phases and then he like that's what Michael J. Fox is doing. Is what Silent Cypher is saying.
He's fucking etch-a-sketching over there, dude.
So
He's
Well,
doing the
Michael J-
Matrix without knowing he's doing the Matrix. Yeah.
when he goes to the bathroom and he's staring at the
last-
urinal, is that
It's a-
considered
Yeah.
playing with yourself
last
because he
thing he
shakes
was
it more than
in.
twice?
It's his Picasso.
Oh my god! All right. Anyway, guys, the last thing he was in that wasn't a voiceover, was in 2020. He was in Lil Nas X's music video. He
Yeah,
was
so
in
he's not
the
doing
Good
That's not
Fight
a
that same
movie.
That was
year.
5 years ago.
And he was in a
I
music
know, but I'm saying
video.
he's still doing TV and stuff like that. He still appears in front of the camera.
No,
He does
no,
do
that was a music
conventions.
video. Everyone's moving into music video. He
Yeah.
fits right in.
Oh, everybody's
put him
moving
in-
into music videos.
Did you watch the music video?
Everyone's.
No, I did not watch
No,
the
I'm
music
tempted
video.
I'm tempted to see it now.
It
You're
is
like,
not good.
all right,
to
just
have
stand
a
there.
camera on for this. I gotta.
Mr. Fox, just stand here.
Yeah,
right,
just
I'm
stand
gonna
there.
You
We're
guys
gonna
are
put
too
you in a low,
much.
we're gonna put you in a low rider car, and we're not gonna bounce it, but it's gonna look like it's bouncing with you in there.
You guys are way
This
too
is-
much tonight.
Oh no. Oh no.
I get to say one
Sorry,
word,
children.
and they take it to like the far corners.
Oh.
I do feel bad about
just
the
say
things
one
that I've
word.
done this evening, but can't take it back now. So
Oh, gosh.
sweet.
All right.
Jesus.
Well.
So I give it a
Everybody ha-
5.6. I don't think
What?
I grade. I don't think I
Yeah,
gave
oh,
the
yeah.
movie a grade.
No, you did.
5.6. Okay.
No.
5.6.
5.6. Presto did 5.6.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
And
too.
So
It was too all over the place. Like it could have got a higher
Michael J.
score.
Fox.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Oh.
Stop trying to
No,
poke
it's
the
good.
bear.
I'm gonna stay quiet right now because I could poke the bear right now.
No, don't
But
poke
but
the
I'm
bear.
gonna choose not to say what I was about to say
Well, there's
But he
something we
wasn't
don't
fuzzy,
hear a
was he?
lot.
because then it's gonna start you guys back up again.
Hey, Fuzz.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard Fee say, "I'm going to stay quiet," and actually stayed quiet? 0.
Oh no. Oh
I
no.
plead the fifth.
And this is when Fuzzy got an invite to the couch.
Oh.
All right. We probably should do outros before we make ourselves look real bad on here with
Well-
more Michael J.
Well,
Fox
Fee didn't
conversation.
give her score yet, did she?
Oh,
Oh!
Wait.
Somebody noticed.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see if this
sorry.
is a 7.7 or whatever.
yeah. Sorry about that.
All right.
Death of a unicorn. What the fuck is that?
So
Are you
we
making
have
burner
requests-
accounts now, Fee, and doing fake comments in here?
That is not mine. So we have Death of a Unicorn. And then the other request was The Nun.
I'm a sucker for
That
all
was the
those
other
nun
request.
movies.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Death of a Unicorn. Oh, Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega. Okay, so it's a real
Oh
movie.
shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a real movie.
that's why
Death of
that's why
a
they make fun of it.
Unicorn,
It's
yeah.
a real movie.
Oh, that was like years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2025 years ago.
Mhm.
Oh, then it wasn't. There was another one. He was like a road worker or something.
Rainbow
like that.
Unicorn, you're thinking of probably. That was one of my
Mm.
favorites.
No, I'm not referring to the porno.
Oh,
Power.
my
All
bad.
right. I'm running out of time.
Okay.
Wife is
Okay.
here.
We're okay. Before somebody turns into a pumpkin, or a couple people
Mhm.
do. All right. So I would give this a 7. What?
What was that?
That
That
sounded
was
like
not me. That was
that
not
sounded
me.
I don't
demonic.
know what that was.
sounded demonic.
Did we just get hacked?
I'm expecting like weird symbols to end up on the wall
What
after
was
that.
that?
What just happened?
Yeah, that was
We're gonna have to.
haunting.
We're gonna have
The
to review
podcast is
that.
now.
I can
Crispy
guarantee
Rambo
you
must be haunting us from his haunted mansion.
Holy.
there was no bubbles coming from my voice at that point. All right. There was...
Me. I guess I'm gonna rewind that later.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be one of our clips. Anyway, so I'm gonna say this is a 7 before we get it, people turning into pumpkins or whatever.
A 7?
A 7 because I really like Bob.
Yeah.
You should work for a
And I-
charity because you're always handing out 7s.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. I think you're right. It is a 7 out of a 100.
Ah,
All right, we'll do outros because I don't want people turning into pumpkins. All right, we'll let Dragpool go first again. We'll do it in the same order. How about that?
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. Sorry about that, but I do have to go. Wife is getting ready. She's already late for her podcast that starts in the next minute. So anyway, Files of Horror right there. That's our little thing that we're doing. And I did forget last week which was Valentine's Day. We went to Sir Henry's Haunted Trails. So we got a whole bunch of stuff from that. As you were talking about earlier in the show, Steamboat Willie, I was in the promo a couple times, maybe 3. And I know there's other recordings, so who knows how many more times they'll use me again. But that was great. Breaking Bread, yada yada yada. So again, thanks for having me on here. It's always great to hang out with you guys and actually talk to other people. That's not my wife about horror related stuff. You know what I mean? So it's always great and great to see everybody in the chat, especially the ones that I saw earlier this morning. To come back and support Fee and Fuzzy. So it's great to see that. Again, I gotta go. Love you guys, and you guys in the chat. You guys down there too, or if you're
Bye.
watching on the computer,
Bye.
you guys over there.
Have a good weekend.
See you.
See you, buddy.
Yes,
See ya.
have a good
Oh, you're
weekend.
very cool. You too.
All right, we said Cypher next, right?
Mhm.
God, I don't like when it goes back to the 4 square because then my head looks fatter. I
Oh
like
my-
when the images are smaller. So yeah, hey, so you can find me in a few different places. You can catch me on social media, a few different ones, kind of here and there. You can catch me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Discord, or you could also find me on like Xbox or whatever as Silent Cipher. Besides that, you catch me on some shows. Catch me this Wednesday on Xbox International at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll drop a. Oh, Fuzzy's playing Forza. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That's my
I
alarm.
heard Forza. Oh, okay. So yeah. So anyways, you can catch me on there. Catch me on Wednesday on Xbox International, and then of course every other Friday on Double Barrel Gaming's podcast, Friday mornings. And then catch me here on every Friday that I can, schedule willing. So yeah, hopefully we'll see y'all soon. We had a lot of new faces in here in the chat today, so that was awesome. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. Some folks from this morning, as Dreadpool said, so that was awesome. We appreciate the support.
All right.
Awesome.
Presto,
Awesome.
right?
Sure. Yeah, I don't think I really have much going on next week. Yeah, I finally figured out how to do the chat this week, and then I was doing arts and crafts and kicked myself off, so I can't even tag myself to like put my Blue Sky and Instagram. So maybe next week we'll try again, but baby steps, I guess. It was just fun. It was fun seeing different people in the chat.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. Oh,
My
All
man's got me.
yeah, poison is awesome. Yeah,
He probably knows my birthday and my wife's birthday. I'll just hit him up. Hey, is there anything happening? He'll let me know.
No, but this was an awesome time with you guys. Not so bad movie. Not one of my favorite picks or anything along those lines, but this was awesome. Just talking with you guys about it. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us. Greatly appreciate the support. For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related or even horror related, just follow me on pretty much all social media except for Facebook. Just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere, either all one word or Fuzzy_Belvedere. You should be able to find me. Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. Like I said, everything but Facebook. But awesome time. Look forward to next Friday with you guys. There is no Xbox Ultimate tonight, so I'm actually podcast list tonight. So I will be playing some Avowed and getting back to it. But after this, I got to feed the cat, so the kitties are going to probably start attacking if I don't. But thank you everyone for showing up. Greatly appreciate it. And Fee, let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on.
So a couple things before I tell you all my Blue Sky and all that other stuff. So I just wanted to put it out there. So I do the Monster Mania volunteering, and we have the show coming up in March. That I plan on being at, not the May show, and we were gonna get Reggie Bannister, or Barster or whatever, and unfortunately, he is really ill, and he has had a major illness since for a while now, Parkinson's, and he is they say he's happy, he's comfortable, but it's not going to be much longer. So if you want to send out some good vibes, some love to him and everything, Monster Mania fan page on Facebook. They made the post on, maybe you have met him and you want to say, something, how he impacted your life or whatever. You could shout it out on Monster Mania fans Facebook page. So I just wanted to send that out. And again, Monster Mania is going to have their show on the 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Tobin Bell, baby.
Guess who they got?
Tobin Bell.
Yes, and also D'Onofrio.
Who?
So Vincent D'Onofrio in May. Yeah, so in May to replace Reggie. Yeah, to replace Reggie, they actually got Vincent D'Onofrio. So, they've been getting some really, popular stars recently. They had Alec Baldwin and stuff like that. So, I mean, guys, watch out for it because you never know who's going to show up there. They really are extending themselves in the past couple of years to get people that people have been asking for and really trying for it. But unfortunately, Reggie is not going to be around much longer. So, Just shout out whatever you want, but just be respectful. That's all I ask. Okay. I am on Blue Sky. I'm also still on Twitter. And I don't have many followers on Blue Sky. Where y'all at?
Not
Come on,
here.
shout out.
You got,
Follow me.
you got
So you
3 of
don't miss
us
anything.
right here.
Because Cypher's no longer on Twitter, so we're kind of trying to move over to another one. We're trying to get off of Twitter because it's just too messy, too much drama now on Twitter. So eventually I will be moving to Blue Sky permanently. So come over to Blue Sky if you're following me on Twitter. Just follow me on Blue Sky. Also, you can email me at ferociousb78@gmail. If hey, you can be on the show if you want. Just give me an email, please. We have guests all the time. Okay. So, anything else, guys? Presto,
No.
really not about the bucket? Seriously?
What do you mean about the bucket?
You posted something for us in private chat. You should have posted it on the chat
Okay.
for everybody about the monkey bucket.
Well, you can post it. I told you I kicked myself out of the chat.
There you go,
So now
guys.
I can't comment.
You
All
got
right,
it?
so I
Okay.
just dropped it in chat. If any of you wants to pre-order the monkey bucket, the monkey popcorn bucket that was mentioned earlier, that is available for pre-order on AMC.
There you go.
Oh,
It's
and it
worth
actually
it.
showed up as a link from Fuzzy. For some reason, that's not a link on mine. So follow his
All
instead.
right.
I'm not sure why I did that.
Among
All
other
right,
popcorn
so-
buckets they have on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just ordered that.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.